Good afternoon, anti-novelists, Lilligans, and friends. Welcome back to this episode of Zettelkasten for Fiction, where imagination finds order. So what did I do today? Today I collected some words. Courte Manche. What a cool name that is. I don't know where that's going to show up, but I think that name is going to show up as somebody's last name in my story. Just saying. So, what have I been doing? Well, I've been drafting a lot in chapter 8 today. Chapter 8 focuses on story structure, the nature of fiction, fundamentals of long fiction in particular. So I have drafted out 3 nice fat chapters on what I consider to be 3 key representations of the 3-act structure, approached in very different forms, but I think you're going to dig it. What I want to show you, however, is over here. Those of you who are used to seeing my view out the window, I have the curtains pulled because it is super sunny. Check out what I did. I got myself a miniature stand-up desk. How groovy is this? I can raise it and lower it by about 2 feet. Right now I have this little bar stool here. So I have spent most of the day sitting in this bar stool. Let me turn this little light out because it's really bright. And this is where I've been working. So I have my groovy, remarkable tablet right here, which I love. I just got it yesterday. So I got it all set up and synced up. I'm loving how that's working out. I went ahead and got the keyboard with it. So like the whole tablet folds down. So you can use it, just like a tablet, or you can fold it up and have the keyboard. So I'm loving that for just dedicated, bang it out typing. That seems to be working pretty well. I wasn't sure if it would, but I like it. So as I said, today I've worked a ton in chapter 8. So I revised 802, 803, 804, and 804 A, B, C, and D. And whoo! Doggies, that was as far as I got. But I'm feeling really good about it. So here's what I'm thinking. What I've done is I've broken down the 3-act structure into a few key representations. And what I'm doing in the book is I'm walking you through how to create your own version of these structures within your own Zettelkasten plotting box. That way, when you're ready to sit down and start writing, you're never starting with that horrible blank empty page. You're going to start with your structure and say, okay, you know what? I have this idea. It's for a character-driven story, and I think I want to explore it with a non-conflict driven character story. Okay, well, then you're just going to zip on over to the options under the 4-act structure, and you can choose from there. This isn't drafted out yet, so I can't show you because it doesn't exist, but it will, trust me. But that's how I envision the workflow of how this part 3 can work for you. You'll just be able to pull those cards that we're going to create together going through the book, and then you can just lay those out and say, okay, for part 1, I need this kind of information. For part 2, this, and so on, 3 and 4. And then you can start drafting that character, and you can start thinking about, okay, what do the challenges need to look like? They're internal challenges, and I want my character to make this kind of shift. I want them to go from selfish to generous. All right, what does that look like? Or maybe it's a negative character arc, and I want them to go from generous and giving and caring to someone who becomes much more reserved, someone who becomes more selfish because of something that happens in that story twist. So that's what I'm helping you figure out as I'm working on this section for you. So what did I get today? I did 2 sprints. I got 2478 words, so almost 2,500, and then 677 words. So that's a great day of writing for me. We're looking at a little over 3,000 words. And I think I wrote in 4 sprints to get that. So that's really good output. But I had a good heading. I knew I wanted to address these sections, and I kind of knew where I was headed, so it made the drafting go pretty quickly. I got some nice fat pages. So that's where we are. I have separated out of my, remember I've got my double wide over there where my big Zettelkasten lives, but I've just separated out a small box here that has chapters 1 through 11. So I'm only working on chapters 1 through 11. This is my little workstation. It keeps me very focused. There's no distractions other than the phone in my hand that I'm filming on, which stays over there on my desk. I have nothing over here that can distract me. It's just my typing little situation and then my spiral notebook that I use to write by hand in. So that's how I do my first draft, and then I draft it into text. So that's what I'm doing, guys. I've got 2 more sprint blocks in me before I have to jump on with my esteemed colleague, Kathleen Spracklin. We have a 5:30 call every Friday and talk about LiLLiPub and things that we can do for our community to nourish and feed our writers and readers. I was so fortunate yesterday to have a one-on-one with one of what is becoming my favorite authors. I cannot wait to share her stories with you. I won't call her out on this video because I know she's working very diligently to bring her story along, but she's doing awesome, and you guys are going to dig her sweet fantasy story. So I'm going to leave you there. As I said, I've got 2 sprints left in me, so I want to get those 30-minute blocks done and then jump on my call. And then at 6:30 Central Time tonight, I will be workshopping a brief chapter from my own novel, The Conjuring Stitch, because tonight is our Scott Scheper fiction writers group. So I'm really excited about that because, as you know, I have all of my focus on this book for you, and I have put my novel aside, but I still take a chapter to my group every couple of weeks just to keep me with one brain cell on that project. So that's where I am. I will leave you there for today. And tomorrow we will meet over in Fusion Writing for our 3 hours of writing sprints and workshop. And I'm just looking forward to it. It's going to be a great weekend of writing, pretty much starting right now. So thank you all for being on this journey. I will continue pounding this out onto the page so I can get it into your hands, because ultimately, you know what I want. I want to hold your book in my hands. That is my wish. So we'll get there together. I will see you tomorrow.